nice. It's just quite subtle, but it's good. Just look at that end. Just feels a bit too murky. Too murky, the end one. Are they all the same sound?
Yeah.
When you're wide open.
I mean, I can take this off.
When you're wide open.
Sure, in context. End chorus. I think lose it for the end chorus. Have you got it on for the other choruses as well?
Maybe just. I mean, it does mimic it up. I think should we just get rid of it?
I think flag it. Yep.
And then I just crank up the end more. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously we're at the stage for looking at the little fine tunes. It's always great when you just can look at little tiny things rather than look at the overall thing. I was really pleased the way this has worked out.
Maybe something else needs to come up there. I mean, I turned the Majestic and the ooze up in
the Majestic was one of the keyboard sounds. So actually a layer of a few different keyboard sounds. Push that little melody up at the end. They might be a bit loud now. I think you're trying to cranking them too much because that da 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 is that's what needs to come up. Whatever's doing that really.
I'll put them back to where the words begin.
It's always worth looking at parts that are going to be parts that a non-musician would listen to. Like for me, that keyboard part at the end. That part there was actually more important than all the other stuff, which as a musician you feel was quite a cool part. Majestic. Yeah. It doesn't need to be too much more because it's not really about... Always look for the key melody and the key part of the song. There's always one part that's going to be more important than the other. Just keep trying to find that when you're producing records. Yeah, it was fine. It was fine the way it was.
And did you want to turn up the falsetto on the verses?
Let me just have a listen. Nice balance in the verses. The vocal sounds really good, really classy, really clear. Always looking for that lift into the choruses. Vocal levels are always a tricky one. Musicians tend to like vocals a bit more buried. I tend to pop vocals out in mixes quite a lot because it's always looking for that important part of the song. And vocals, for most listeners, are the most important part of the song. It's the old story of Paul McCartney knowing he'd been successful when his milkman was whistling one of his songs walking up the driveway one morning. And you're always looking for the Paul McCartney whistling factor. that melody that's people are gonna latch onto. As musicians, we always like the cool stuff, you know, the dirty bass sounds and the crunchy things and the cool guitar sounds. But most listeners are not musicians.
Sweet